is Nathan. I do security and compliance stuff here at Dovetail, which is great because one of the favorite parts of my job is I get to talk to prospective customers about their security requirements, and I get to speak to their security teams. But it often gets me thinking, it's not the security teams that are using Dovetail, it's you lot. So I wanted to use this opportunity to highlight some of Dovetail's security features, why I think they're important, and why I think you should use them. However, before I get into that, I want to start us with a story that shows the significance of trust. So to start off, I want everyone to close their eyes. And I want you to think of an object that means a lot to you, that's significant to you, it's unique to you, and no one in this room would other care about it. Got it? All right, open your eyes. This is mine. This is my blanket that my grandma gave me. Her grandma needed it, so it's been passed down through the generations. It means a lot to me, but doesn't mean much to anyone else. Now, I want you to think of someone that's important in your life, someone that you trust. This could be a sibling, a significant other, parent, or a close friend. You trust this person, and you've spent years building up trust with this person. And let's just say, for whatever reason, you need to give them this item to look after. You trust they're going to look after it. They even tell you, I know how much this means to you. I'm going to look after this like it's my own. And you trust they're not going to sell it, not going to lose it, they're going to protect it. But sometimes things don't go according to plan. And let's just say they lost it. They lost it after they said they would look after it and you trusted them. How would that make you feel? I'd feel like that. If my close friend lost my grandma's blanket, I'd feel pretty upset. So what's happened here? That trust is broken. That trust that's taken years to build has been broken in a matter of moments. Why am I telling you this? Well, I think this is a great analogy for how data and the companies that we entrust with our data works. Now, Dovetail is one of these companies, and you probably work for one as well. We spend years investing huge amount of time, energy, money into building trust within our brand. And that means that our customers are confident and they trust us with their data. However, things don't go to plan. Bad things happen. There's a good chance that everyone in this room has been a victim of a data breach or a cyber attack. A recent example for me is back in Australia. One of Australia's largest telecommunications company had a data breach last year. And I was a loyal customer for many, many years. They had a really good reputation in their brand. And as a result of the data breach, names, addresses, IDs were stolen. And I ended up leaving. And so did so many other Australians. The trust had been broken for me. That trust that I had in this company, they spent years building, had been broken in a matter of moments. Hopefully this highlights the value of that trust relationship you have with your customers and why one event, one mistake can have a significant impact on that relationship. At Dovetail, we have a few different values. This is my favorite. Put the customer first. I could spend hours chatting around what we do at Dovetail to keep your data secure, and if anyone wants to have that chat, we can do that after. I want to focus on what you can do as a user of Dovetail and how you can use some of our features to protect your customers' data and how you can put your customers first. All right, let's just say you work for a healthcare provider and your project is to interview patients that has recently stayed at one of your hospitals. And as a part of this, a patient might potentially disclose some sensitive health data to you, some health information, and you really want to make sure that you really want to use Dovetail for this project, but at the same time, you want to protect that customer, their data, because they've trusted you with it. All right, well, firstly, let's set up access to Dovetail. How are you going to share your insights to your colleagues in the hospital? How do you manage this at a large organization? How do you ensure that people that only need access to Dovetail when they join your organization get access? What happens when they leave? How do we revoke that access? How do we ensure they're not using silly passwords like password 123? Well, it's easy. We have single sign-on. It's great and easy to set up. You can ensure that when new people join your organization and they need access to Dovetail, they can get access straight away. And when they leave, that access is revoked. You can also use things like multi-factor authentication. So if their password is compromised, you've got that extra layer of security and safety. And also the password thing. Yes, your IT and security teams can set up password policies. So password 123 is not a thing. All right, so we've talked about getting into Dovetail, setting up access to Dovetail. Let's talk about that case where that patient does share that sensitive data with you. That information that might not be relevant to that research project at all. How can we safely remove this to protect your customers' data? Well, we now have magic redaction. This feature allows you to highlight specific parts of that transcript so you can remove that bit of data from that note and our database. It'll blur the video, it'll silence the video on that part, or you could choose to blur the whole video if you wish. Doing this helps protect your customers so that if you do share that note to the wrong person, you've already done the hard work to remove that sensitive data, thus minimizing that impact. All right, back to our project. So it probably contains some sensitive data at this point that our patient has disclosed. We maybe don't want to go through and redact all that data. Maybe it is needed for the project. How do we ensure that only certain people have access to that project that need that? Well, we've got groups. It's easy. So you can set up groups in a way where you can, by default, not allow access to anyone in the workspace and only that group that have that are the approved colleagues to access that data. As you can see here, I've done that. I've got wider workspace, and then people who can keep secrets have access. Now let's say we've gone and we've completed our research project, we're wrapping up, we've created the highlights, insights. What value does that video provide keeping in Dovetail? There is none. We've gotten what we need from it, so why not just delete it? Well, we can do that with custom data retention, which is an enterprise feature. So you can set a time period on that at a project or a workspace level, and after that time, that video will be deleted. This allows you to manage your data retention at scale and automatically, and more importantly, is protecting your customers' data again. I'll come back to this slide. So the 4 features I've showed you today, single sign-on, magic redaction, group management, and custom data retention, are just some simple features you can start using now to help protect your data, help protect that trust that your customers have in your brand. If you have any further questions around these features or Dovetail and security in general, let me know, hit me up, find one of our account managers at the back, but thank you.